This is Marcela and Shelly. You guys met them already. Marcela is my partner in this event. Her brand is Healing with Marcela. And then Shelly is our biggest partner with the coaching tree. And today's Fire Chat, hosted by me, Girlfriend Magic. Okay. So today's Fire Chat is Bridging Spirit and Strategy, Life as a Spiritual Entrepreneur, and Life Coach. Okay. Thank you so much for being here with us at our Fall Equinox. It means so much to come together as the community and share spaces with each other as women, healers, curators, and creators. So this Fire Chat is the heartbeat of today's gathering. It emerged from two heartfelt conversations I had with Marcela and Shelly, two separate occasions, of course, and then I brought them together, and they met through me, through this event, and my relationship with both Marcela and Shelly. This is actually Marcela's and I's second event. It's not our first. Our second one was a little bit more private. She did a full moon birthday celebration for me and my friends who are also here supporting me today. And she also is our kind of like little friendship group healer. So she's one of us, and I reached out to her when I had this idea. So thank you for being part of this, both of you. You guys both have been so amazing. Thank you for that. And thank you all for being here today with us. You know, I know it's a lot of traffic, it's hot, it's cold, but thank you so much. It is. I've been like 3 things today, right? So the power of community, sisterhood, and creating business in alignment with our souls, right? Our conversation today is honoring our spiritual gifts while moving in entrepreneurial clarity, because when money is exchanged, it's a business, right? And it deserves structure. Not only structure, it also deserves integrity. It creates community. So you want to make sure that when the exchange is happening, you're not only doing it as a self-service, but also expanding your community, right? As Marcela did with us. Like, I met Marcela during 2020, and it was at someone's apartment. Like, she just came over to do it. I think that's at the beginning of your spiritual journey, right? And she came over and did our readings, and then 5 years later, she's still part of the friendship group, and she's still doing our Reiki, our healings and things, and that's why she did a birthday reading for me this year. And that's when I told her that I wanted to do an event, and then we decided to come together and do this event. So that's another example of the way that we could come together, because it was never a thing about let's make $10,000. Like, that was not the approach. The approach was really, I like you, we've done an event together, and I feel like we should do something for the fall. I feel like I really like the work that you do. Let's try to bring my friends together and do something. I also don't live here. I live in Miami. I moved to Miami 4 years ago, so she did all the footwork, and I just arrived yesterday. Shelly is coming from California. Thank you for coming across the whole entire United States for us. So, yeah, so, you know, none of us are like making crazy money out of this. This is just so that we can create communities amongst ourselves as women, right? In a space where I feel like we're living in a world where we have to take our responsibility as women to be nurturers, to be lovers, to bring people together, because that is our innate nature, to come together as either through cooking for our family, through nurturing our children or nurturing others, right? Like, our space in this world is to give love, create spaces for love, and spread love, right? So we want to make sure that as spiritual healers, we keep that in mind, not so much the chase for money, because the concept of spirituality means that once you are aligned, everything is there already, right? So you don't need anything else. So we wanted to this event to kind of harper on that idea that if you are in alignment, then nothing is needed. Nothing is required. You shouldn't be chasing anything. You should just flow and be loving and be a nurturer, because the rest will come, right? So with that being said, let's get into our fire chat. Okay, so to start, if you guys can start introducing yourselves to the group, who you are, your background, how did you become a spiritual healer? Shelly, how did you become a coach? Let's start with you, Shelly.
Thank you, Daphne. I'm like so excited to be here. Yeah, I came from California. My name's Shelly Groom, and I am with the Coaching Tree. I'm a life coach, a career coach. I do a little consulting. My background is in education, and part of what I did in education is I worked with new teachers and matched them up with mentors and coaches. And so I just really love the space of providing support to one another in service fields. So again, I kind of came from education, and now I'm here. I retired from that part of my life, and I'm looking at being a little entrepreneur as I move forward. So I'm just thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Marcela from Healing with Marcela. And my journey began around 2018, where I took a leap of faith and I just jumped for it. I went and I quit my job and I started to do what was a part-time, just doing readings and healings. I decided that that was in alignment for me to do full-time. And it just, the more I became spiritually aligned, the more it felt like a true calling. And I was like, I wasn't put on this earth to sit at this desk all day long for the next 35 years of my life. To do what? You know, like I was feeling very unfulfilled at my job. So I decided to, and I knew deep down in my intuition that nothing was gonna, like the ball couldn't keep rolling if I decided to stay stagnant where I was. So I decided that I'm just going to go for it and do this full time. And then everything just came together beautifully. The money always showed up. I always ended up being able to afford to pay my rent, and it was just very validating. And as you can see, this altar is dedicated to our ancestors. Without my ancestors, I would not be here today. I would not have discovered my gifts. I would not have discovered what truly fulfills my life. So I give a lot of credit to the ancestral work that I have done throughout the years. And so now what I do, I guide women. I feel like that's pretty the premise of my job. My calling on this world, in this world, is to guide women back home to themselves. I help you develop your spirituality, develop your intuition, so that you don't necessarily even need to go to a reader. Yes, I can read you, but you have the answers within you. We all do. And it's just about learning how to listen to that inner voice, to listen to your spirit. When I work on you, when I do healings on you, it's my soul connecting and speaking to your soul. That's where the messages come from, your spirits, your soul, your ancestors. So yes, I can perform this healing on you and I can read you, but you have all of that power within you. You can heal yourself. You can speak to your guides and your soul and hear your intuition. And it is my job to teach you how to do that. And eventually you will reclaim that power and feel powerful enough and confident enough to only depend on yourself and only rely. Because normally when I have a reading, it's like you already know it deep down. Your spirits will validate you and tell you X, Y, and Z, and I can lay it all out for you. And you're gonna leave like, you know what, deep down, I knew it. And it feels better when spirit validates you because you can move forward and be like, okay, but they already told you, you know? So it's all within you. You just have to learn how to harness your power, access it, hear it, and learn the difference between your intuition and your ego, because your ego can spew a lot of fear and a lot of conditioning beliefs. And that's where the work with women that I do comes in, where I teach you how to recognize the difference between them. So that's me.
Thank you. Thank you both for that. That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Shelly, so how do you hold responsibility of guiding people through coaching and personal development?
It's interesting you talk about that like we already know. And I think it's a calling that I've had. I do feel this responsibility to help and guide others when they have questions about what they want to do next in their life. It's interesting. There's got to be a balance. I hold this responsibility, but it's also, just like Marcela was saying, really it comes from within the woman that I'm working with. It's a calling. It's a calling for sure, and I'm so excited to be here because everyone else is here has that calling. They have a special calling. So
What does it mean to me? Um, so the more you work with your guides and your ancestors, the louder they become. So for me, I mean, everyone receives messages differently, but for me, if I'm not listening to them and they are clearly telling me something very loudly, um, they get very loud in my head. So it means to me to be in alignment with them. It's a feeling of ease and flow and peace, and there's no internal fight. There's in my mind, I'm not, it's almost like I'm arguing with somebody that's nagging me to stop doing something, and I know when they're talking to me. So when I feel in alignment and I feel very peaceful and I'm not having that internal battle, I know that that's we're at peace, we're flowing. Me and my guides, we're good. But what it means to me on the other end, it means the world to me to connect with my guides, to connect with my ancestors. I don't know where my life would be without connecting to spirit in that way. It means the world to me, really.
Thank you for that. And I know that you both spoke so beautiful about the way you want to help and express yourself. But I know that you both have families, right? And you're your own person outside of that. So how do you deal with that? Tell us a little bit of how do you deal with taking your gifts, your job, your work so seriously, but also giving time for yourself and your families? That question is for you both.
I'll start. I'll start.
Go ahead.
I was going to go there, and I thought you had like that question coming. So there is a balance, and I think people who do provide service sometimes it gets away from them, and so you become drained as the person who's serving others, and so finding that balance. What Marcela's talking about, having that connection to spirit, to your intuition, it will tell you when to slow down. It will tell you when to take a breath. And as much as I feel called to help others, more and more, the more I stay connected, it's like this little voice inside, like, it's okay, and they're going to be okay. I provided the service, and they're going to be okay. And me having the faith that you all are going to be okay allows me to step back and have that boundary and have that balance.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
It was a little tough for me. I have a 3-year-old, so I've been doing this work since about 2018. So going into motherhood and having to balance that was a little bit tough for me personally, because I'm cleansing, like I do Reiki healings, I do readings, I work with a lot of different people, I bring a lot of different energy home. I myself can be affected by that energy, it can be draining. So it really is, I had to do a lot of protocol to keep myself, just make sure I'm nourishing myself mentally, physically, spiritually, make sure I'm eating right. If you're a mom, you know that those first years, it's hard to even feed yourself. So it was a little difficult in the beginning, but I think it's a beautiful process learning how to figure that out, because it does make you feel like, it feels impossible until it's done, right? So it was a bit of a project for myself to learn how to, even when I was pregnant, I stopped doing healings. So that itself threw me off balance, like spiritually, financially. But it definitely is a balancing act. And I feel like right now I'm at a good place in my life. But it's still, when you love what you do so much, you want to do it all the time. And then you feel guilty for, you try to split yourself. But somehow it always works out, so.
Thanks be to God. So that's a perfect way for our next question to you both. How do you personally know when you're forcing something versus letting something come to you or being in alignment with something?
It just doesn't align. When I try to force something, it disappears out of my life. It gets taken away from me. It doesn't work out. Things fall apart. My spirits respond very strongly when something is not working for me or not meant for me, or I'm trying to push something and force something. That person, place, or thing will get taken from my life very swiftly.
But tell us a little bit about what alignment means to you. Like, what does that look like, and how do you know when something doesn't feel aligned? For yourself, for you, like, what does that feel like for you in your body, in your mind, in the way you do things?
So for me personally, there are a few factors here. It's because I do have my spiritual altar. That alone speaks to me. My candles, they speak to me. Myself physically, I will feel, and my intuition, I work with the intuition so much that there are things that I just cannot ignore. They'll be right there. And it's like your mother's in your head nonstop. And like I said earlier, it gets louder and louder. When it comes to my altar and seeing things visually, sometimes, like if my candle goes black, I know something's up. You know, if the water on my altar that's normally spick and span and sparkly clean, it starts getting nasty and disgusting, something's up. And the whole point of that altar is to also cleanse my energy. And so I know that something funky is going on. So I always can feel within my body when I'm hearing it, and also when I'm just like, I get irritated, irritable, aggravated, like this energy that's not even mine, because I'm very free and flowy. And so when I'm feeling very like icky, you know, when my energy is off, I already know something's out of alignment. And that's how I know it's a compass, it's an internal compass that just guides me. And then I do my protocol. I cleanse myself. I do all the spiritual things to make sure that I get the answer of why, and I also fix it energetically.
Great. What about for you, Shelly? Because for you, it's not so much on the energetic world and things like that. For you, it's more practical. It's more.
You know, it's interesting. It is more practical, but I can also connect to what you're saying. I don't feel good. And if I'm trying too hard, you talked about forcing it or pushing it, and I'm working with someone, I want to be responsive to them, to the energy that they're bringing. And if I get all up in my head and think I know what I should be telling them, I don't feel good. I feel nervous. So, and it's interesting to be here. I'm on my own spiritual journey and feeling some of these things in my intuition. It's like, oh, that's why I feel that way. So it's been a wonderful experience, kind of a experience of self-discovery, really.
Hey, thank you for that. Thank you both. And now to dive into this idea of energy exchange, specifically when it comes to the energy of money, right? How do we become entrepreneurs, right? Because yes, we're all spiritual healers. As women, we are all spiritual healers. We all have the vessel of life within us, whether we decide to use it or it might, we still are aligned with that energy. So how do you combine that spirituality with entrepreneurship to make sure that you are staying afloat, that you are being supported materially for yourself and your family?
Well, I come from a lot of generational money wounds, not feeling worthy of charging or making enough money. There was a lot of work I had to do around that. I mean, I've had a few mentors. One of my mentors is actually here, Christine Gutierrez, which she has helped so much, tremendously, where she really was able to teach me how to, like, money used to be a dirty word to me. Like, to charge money for spiritual work felt wrong and crazy. But now, after all the work that I've done, it is what it is. We live in a world where exchanges, I can't live on that, like I can't bring a bushel of apples for an exchange of, like I have to pay rent and I have a daughter, but I think when you learn that money is like when you're paying for something, the exchange of energy, it's an intention. And in order for you to receive, you have to give. That's just with anything in life, and it goes the same with money. And there is a misconception, and people, I mean, it's whatever you think it is, but really, money being the root of all evil has been something that a lot of people say, and I had to change my mind around that as well. And of course, if I had the money, I would be able to do a lot of amazing things. That's just the reality of it. And I'm not gonna say, like, as a spiritual person, I don't wanna have nice things. I don't wanna have good quality clothes and eat organic food and be able to take my daughter on trips. Like, I can't charge pennies, and I felt really bad about doing that. I mean, when I first started, I was doing a lot of energy work for $30, $40 because I felt really bad. And it wasn't until I worked with these mentors and they woke up a light inside of me, and they explained to me and they taught me how to overcome that conditioning of money being dirty, money being evil, money being unspiritual. That was when I was able to be like, okay, like that on top of accessing your own worthiness. I am worthy of nice things. I'm worthy of being paid to do my work. This is my livelihood. So that made me, I had to up my prices and change things around and do that without feeling guilt behind it. Because then if you do that and you're feeling guilty about it, you're also not going to receive the flow of clients that you want, because the energy of guilt and fear is around that money. So like, yeah, the energy of your money can have a lot of negative things behind it, but it's up to you to change that energy, that flow, where it's coming from, where is that money coming from, and what kind of energy is pushing it towards you. So, yeah.
Great. And to your point about like you want nice things or like money being dirty and stuff, it's like we have to remember that we live in two realms, right? We live in the spiritual realms and we live in the material realm. And then most of us live in New York City, right? Which is its own realm, right? So it's sort of like we have to keep in mind that like in order for us to give and provide, we have to feel comfortable in coming from a place of like strength, right? Now, so like and then this is again goes back to like, oh, we need, like Marcela, I need to make $10,000. Let's do this event. Like, no, it was more like, can we create community, right? And then maybe, who knows, we might get $10,000. I don't know, but I feel like the idea needs to come from a place of love, a place from a heart, a place of giving, providing, receiving. And once you give that energy out, then that energy then comes back to you 10 times full. And I've experienced that myself in my life. I am a product of that in my life. So I really love to push that onto other people to make sure like you're okay. Like, you're fine. The abundance is yours. Money is yours. But like, fix whatever else is making you upset, because it's not the money. The money is something that you grab and go. The money is like toilet paper. The money is this mic. You just grab it, you use it, and you let it go. But there's an energy there that you need to cleanse of receiving or giving that you need to work on, right? So that's a great point. That 100%. Yes. Then Shelly, what about you?
It's so similar when Marcela was talking about these feelings that we grew up with around money, and there's never enough, and if you want it, you're greedy and you're a bad person and all of that. So yeah, that takes some work to make that shift. With the work that I do, with any like profession like this where it's a service oriented, and when it comes so naturally, it feels so weird, right? To like, but this comes so naturally. Like I can just sit down and chat and I can be responsive, and it feels weird to charge for that. But what I learned what does it bring out in the person that I'm working with when they feel so ready to make a change that they're ready to exchange this energy? It's a gift for them. It's a gift for them, and it still takes some getting used to. It still takes some getting used to, and the gifts that we have, like not everybody has these gifts. So even though it feels easy to us, like I don't feel like I should charge because like it's just kind of in me. but not everybody has that. Not everybody has the gifts that we can offer, and that is of value. That is of value.
That is very true. That I think that the value is more in what we give and do for others than what we receive. Because personally, for me, when I do more for others, or when I give more to others, or when I make sure that my friends are okay, or when I come to New York, I have to see my friends. I love my friends. I love my friends. I'm in love with my friends. Yeah, but like that makes me happy. My friends fill my cup. I live in Miami, and like my two friends from Miami are here that I know. So it's so nice. Like I want my friends with me all the time, even though I have a partner, but like just that I just like the energy that like my friends or other people give me just when we're like chit-chatting or having a conversation. Like it's just nothing but like human to human contact. That's so beautiful. That's so nice. And I want more of that for all of us here, specifically after like COVID, after all of us have been inside and missing our friends. People are weird now. That's another topic that we can get into, but that's not what the conversation is about, right? But we got to get back out there. We have to get back out there. We have to go back into our human forms of touching each other and feeling each other's love and providing for each other and helping each other. So, right.
Sometimes I hang out with my girlfriends and I literally feel high after. I'm like, did we do drugs? Right. Because I feel like I'm floating up here. I'm driving home like, are we sure we didn't smoke? I don't know. Like I feel so high off life and love. It really is so beautiful.
That is so beautiful. It is. And that's exactly how I feel too. Even yesterday when we were doing the goodie bags together, like afterwards, it's like, oh my God, like I'm so high on this, like.
Well, and you're in that flow when like we look at the time, we're like, oh my gosh, like all this,
right.
It's, you're like aligned and it's
right.
flowing. Yeah.
It's flowing. Exactly. Thank you. Well, we're speaking of time, right? So tell us a little bit about where you both are right now, Marcela, where you are in your business now. What is the business that you're building? What you want your business to look like in the future, and what's in store for you?
I love that question. So right now, my focus is doing ceremonies for women and helping women access their higher self, their intuition, and learning how to develop that. And also I teach women how to develop their relationship with their ancestors. I feel like they go hand in hand. There's like a formula that I love to use where venerating your ancestors leads to activating your intuition, which leads you to finding alignment and your soul's purpose. So that's really what I'm focusing on right now. And my women's ceremonies, I hold sacred women's ceremonies. I've been doing a series of sacred rage ceremonies where we get together and we access our sacred rage and we scream it out. And rage is another thing that women feel very disconnected to, or like it's a bad thing when really it's a sacred thing. Our rage is our messenger, and it's the fire that we hold within us. And when we have to suppress our rage, that becomes disease in our bodies, dis-ease. So, but I would like to do more ceremony, have more, just a bigger community of women. I want this community to get bigger and bigger, more ceremony, more love, more energy, more people healing themselves, more women empowering themselves, honing in their power, using their power, cleansing themselves, listening to their intuition. That's the goal for the future.
Amen. Amen. What about you, Shelly? What do you have going on?
And what I love about this space is everybody has, like, they're on a different level in terms of their spirituality. I feel like I'm a little more like I'm not as deep as that, as where you guys are, to really have that connection. I would like to share with women like that they can make these shifts, even if they're not experienced with all the spirituality. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah. So a couple of different things that I do have my coaching business. It's kind of gone by word of mouth in my community and working with friends of friends, and then they refer, and then we end up in New York. I don't know how it happens. But I really love, Daphne and I have talked about events for a long time. I think that could be so fun to connect with folks and do this, right? on a podcast and be able to reach even more women to hear, listen to, and be a part of these conversations. So, and it is not, it's not about the money. It's just, I don't know, like the money takes care of itself. Like once you're in it, the money takes care of itself.
Right, and that goes to my next question to both of you. How do you stay rooted in integrity when so much of the online space pushes performance and comparison? Right, because you're both working on these different things that you want to kind of push forward and, grow, but then how do you stay sort of centered? You're not like stealthy, like post, watch. Sign up.
That already turns me off. Like for me, I can't even, posting on Instagram is like a big deal for me. I can't even, I just don't have that energy of pushing myself onto people. And something that I have always, I rather spirit bring me my clients. Like if you are meant to work with me, you're gonna find me whether I post on Instagram or not. So I really don't push myself on social media. I feel like when you do, sometimes you even get the wrong crowd. It's just not for me. I rather word of mouth. I think word of mouth is everything. And I appreciate when people find me organically. And that's just something that comes natural to me. It turns me off. And that's something about a spiritual person that would push me away from working with them.
Same. I have an Instagram. I like to think of my Instagram not so much as engaging because I don't necessarily want to engage on Instagram, but it's sort of like, it's my little business card, if you will, and like here's kind of what's going on. It's part of why I've moved to this idea of a podcast, because people can listen and have their own thoughts, but a podcast doesn't necessarily generate all that negativity, right?
Yeah.
So like let them have their thoughts. Like, okay, if you don't dig me, then don't listen. But it doesn't generate all of that ickiness. So yeah.
That's good. And the reason why I really love and appreciate you both, and I feel so, is because I'm the same way. I'm like, it's the reason why I have girlfriend magic, because I know I'm not like, please. I am a very private person. And it's because not so private, it's because I like to protect my energy, really. And I feel like when you expose yourself open like that, you bring in the wrong energy to you or attention to you and things like that. And, it's the fact that you guys are both so chill, I want to take this moment also to say, like, all the things that go wrong in that event, right? You're trying to do an event and the day off, like 1,000,001 things go off, right? And it's sort of like, we're okay, we're fine. And it's sort of like every single time something happened, it's like, we're okay, we're fine. And just like kept like on whatever else is going on, and I really want to appreciate that, because that is really what life is. It's about letting go and letting things happen to you, like whatever happened today, we all three of us were really pretty much like, it is what it is, like we were expecting 125 people here today because we sold out the event, but like everyone is either stuck in traffic or anything like that, everything that could happen in a day. Our vendors, we want to keep them open all day because it's unfair to them that they're not getting as many people in. But there's nothing we can do. We're still here. We're having a great time. I love everybody who's here. Whoever is here is meant to be here with us to share this space together. And it's okay, So thank you for being that way. That's just, and this is the kind of attitude that I want to showcase. Of like, it's okay. It's okay. Nobody's going to die. And if they do, guess what? It's also okay, because now they become your ancestor. Really, now they become your ancestor, like, It's all good. So it's all good. This is all to say that everything's going to be okay, and just to trust the process. Okay. Lastly, this is my last question to you both, because we're out of time, but if you could leave the women here with one message for their own entrepreneurial journey, what would it be?
You think I'll start. Tap in to your intuition. Take that time to be still. Allow that, whatever your spiritual practice is, whether it's prayer or just getting quiet. You, like Marcela was saying, you already know what you need to do. But you got to get quiet so you can hear it down inside. So yeah, listen to yourself. Listen to that intuition.
I would like to say that fear is a liar. And when you feel the fear and the ego coming up, just know that that's not your spirit, that's not what your soul is telling you. So on the other side of that is growth. And don't be, if you are, what is that saying? If you're comfortable, you're not growing. So be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Was that message for you? Is that why the mic like punched you in the face?
Possibly.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Thank you both for sitting here with me and having this fireside chat. I mean, all of these topics that we touched on are so much more deeper than that, you know, because we are very emotional. As women, we are very emotional. Not more than men, but we are very emotional. But you know, so we have to like kind of like listen to our inner voice and not the voices of other people around us, right? Because as we are born, we are already told what to do, how to be, because there's an idea of us, of what it needs to be that a woman is, right? But we all want to be our own free people. So you have to remember, like, are you listening to the voice that told you how to be, or are you listening to the voice that wants you to be the person that you are inside? So if there's anything that I can leave you all here is with that. Listen to yourself. No one else. Listen to yourself, listen to spirit, listen to yourself and spirit. No one else.
Amen.